She's what?
She's pregnant.
Pregnant?
The typical African parent response, one of two things. So you ask the question, so I mean, Dad, please tell me about like when you were 19, like your first relationships and like just the type of guy that you were when you were younger. The one who's to speak here, where you're not sure what these, I mean, those days.
They are hazy.
Those days.
They are days of my youth.
Those days. Or the other response is, what exactly do you want? Anything for life is in the will of God.
But invasive. God. We were so young. We didn't know what we were doing.
I've also heard.
Why are you so young? You can't remember a thing.
We're young, we didn't know God.
That's the real one. You didn't know God. So the errors you were making. Hi guys.
Hi.
Welcome back to Friends Chat.
Friends chat.
Today we're speaking about a very interesting subject: relationships and black families. Relationships which are really non-existent, relationships that parents don't talk about, relationships that don't exist until you're married, until there's cars at the door. You are not in a relationship. At whatever cost, a black parent will deny the existence of a boy or a girl in your life. If you would like to hear more about that and what we think parents should do differently and why we think this is the case, stick around.
Stick around.
That maybe parents don't want to acknowledge your relationship because of fear.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to deal with the fact that you might fall pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that.
Pregnant, what?
She what?
She's pregnant.
Hey! I hear me, but me. She's what?
She's pregnant.
Pregnant? Ha! How possible we hear of this?
The funniest thing for me is having a conversation with the parents, say, about a sibling significant other, and they're like, remind me how your friend is doing. And you're like, guys, that is not a friend. That is not a
And they
friend.
know.
And that's the thing. So even with those phone calls, they know chances are who you're chatting to for that long. But then the rage comes because they can't even admit it to themselves. So instead of admitting that my child could be talking to their boyfriend or girlfriend, it's just, why all the time?
So guys, I called my mom the other day because it was my New Year anniversary, and I called and I was like, oh, I guess what's happening today? Even when I was saying it to her, I kind of knew this is so silly anyway. And so I'm like, she's like, okay, it's your anniversary. And then she starts cracking on the other side of the phone like, hey, why are you guys counting and you're not even married? And it's like the existence of that side of you to them is so far-fetched. And it kind of makes it seem like you're just a silly child.
Yeah.
Like, like, you know, which is so interesting, but it's like that's an important part of your life. And why do parents like demarcate? It's like a black and white. You in no relationship, and suddenly you're getting married, and suddenly we recognize your significant other.
I mean, the other reason is probably the whole perceived respect. It's just like, how can we tell our friends that Sharon's boyfriend is here for dinner? Because like,
My house is cheap. That is my house is cheap. My house is cheap.
like just boys can just come and sit at the dinner table. And
Willy-nilly. And why must it be the extreme? Why is it always like coming in and out of my house?
That is the language, because you denied for so long, then the language has to be extreme, right? It's like, these boys, they come in and out.
The one
Yeah,
boy.
this boy is gonna make you pregnant, man. Don't be in a relationship until you are married.
what I loved about something you just said now is that extremes. And when you think about the extremes, where life actually happens is here in the middle, where, I mean, the person you're going to marry is the person you're with here in the middle. Your decisions on that person happens here in the middle, and to not have counsel in that middle, and then for them to expect
That's
great
successful
marriage.
marriage.
It's just like,
And that's exactly that's why, like, I mean, we can learn from white culture, right?
Yeah.
Or Western culture, where Johnny is dating Stace and they're dating, and like the minute Stacey starts liking Johnny, she's already telling her mom or telling her dad, Johnny is coming to the house.
Yeah.
Or screaming from the dad. The dad will be like, no, I'm gonna go.
we're going to go for
Fishing
breakfast.
Just me and him. I want to meet him. I want to know him.
I want to hang out with him because there's an this person is coming to my daughter. my love for my daughter extends to the place where I'm willing to be uncomfortable and like say, okay, this guy, but I need to screen and know, like my love goes past, you know, my feelings of not wanting to be uncomfortable, right? And then what happens? They like each other. Stacey goes to Johnny's house. She's seen there. The families even might meet before this thing is official. Then they become official, and even then, there's continuous input.
And they guide the heart of the child through that development process as well, right? And don't you think more so in a country like South Africa, where there's so much crime, there's so much femicide, there's so much danger towards women, that I think it's even more so important for parents to be involved in the relationships of their children in order to protect them, not only in terms of their hearts, but literally physically, because your child could be in danger if you don't know who they're with, right?
You don't know who they're with.
You don't know.
You only want to know when that person is going to lobola your child.
But everything is happening here. That's where everything's happening.
We were asking that, what Bessie was saying about like white parents being involved. Do you guys think that it contributes to so many black men being players, and I guess black women as well, right? Because they can be here, there, everywhere, and there's no accountability, no sense of responsibility. There's no like, oh, mama kabanya latini, right? Like, as opposed to with the families being involved and there's cultivation of the relationship, that these relationships last much longer. People will be like, yeah, man, we've been dating since grade 9.
And you're like, how? Because you've been going to family trips and you're going fishing, and like the families are willing to input, and now when you guys have a small tiff, you can't go to your mom and be like, how do I resolve this?
Because even I think it does something to both your sides in the relationship, but it's also, now you have shorter accounts. Because say me and X are going through something, I'm talking to my mom and dad about it, I'm getting their perspective, immediately that's what's framing my response, instead of what often happens in black families, because you're not getting that internally, then peers. So peers, popular culture, then tend to inform the way I do relationship, instead of values in the family that are able to influence both the dude and myself, because he comes into that space. So in the event that say he comes from a broken family, him having my dad immediately shapes him a different way, you know. And if we work out, great, but if we don't, at least already by him having those regular interactions, on him sharing with my dad about our relationship, he's then able to think a lot more deeply about his future relationship. So just conversation being so necessary, you know?
And my concern is the development phase of the child, right? Like there comes to a point 14, 15, 16 where their hearts become awakened romantically to love, right? And suddenly they learn that there's things that I cannot talk to my parents about, get behind these particular areas. And romance and love suddenly becomes an area of shame. And because of how stigmatized it is in black families and black communities, this child is further alienated from their parents, who should be their guides and their counsel. They remove themselves so much. The parents are also in offense and defense mode, trying to make this child come back to be the person that they want them to be. This child is, of course, moving in a direction of their development and their growth. So you have this like stark separation where this child is moving into areas of shame. They're being counseled by their peers. The parents are on the other side. There's family members who are saying, hey, I saw Ubani at a corner. Instead, because the parents are not involved, they can't defend that child. Instead, what they say to the child is, you were seen doing A, B, C, D. Do you know what I mean? So I do think you find a pattern where black children, there's a particular stage where they are removed literally from their families or their mother and their father, until a point where the parents kind of come to some convergence, but there's such a missed opportunity to cultivate the child and to enable
normalize the process, to normalize that change for the child, to say these things, these feelings, it's not, you're not sassy, you're not extra, you're not like, not like you love boys, which is something that you're supposed to feel. You love girls, and it's like, because you're unable to bring yourself to speak to your child about this topic, you have to accuse them. You have to accuse them, and it doesn't help anything.
And use again very dramatic language, and I think maybe perhaps it is because our parents have never done that, why they find it hard to do it with us, which I guess the onus is on us as well, to be a lot more risky, and this is what this conversation is about, in the sense of, in order to bring them to the place where they can have those conversations, we need to start probing them, because these are perhaps people who also don't have the tools, who choose flight because people
fight or
no tools, like guys are just like, nah, I don't have the tools for this, or rage, You know, so I do think a part of why this conversation here in Friends Chat is important is because we want to start that conversation of both our parents, if you watch this, let's think about it, and our parents being a generalization of all parents, but then also appealing to our generation to say, yes, we are probably in a position to do it differently. You know?
Because in teaching them or giving them the tools as well, it enables them to touch areas in their own lives that they've actually never really explored or been willing to talk about, right? Like, so what we're saying, there's just like general silence in black families, right? Because like, so even grief, all of these things, like I don't think them not being able to talk to us about relations is a reflection of other silences in their own lives. I echo what grief, loss, disappointment, opportunities, dreams.
Yeah.
Sure. So for me, right, I actually had to decide to tell my parents. Oh, mama, it's been easy. Like honestly, from high school, I used to tell her like stuff, and she'd obviously be like, what? But like there was someone to speak to about it. But I always knew that okay, fine. So for me to tell my dad that really prayer, fasting, everything like prayer walk, anything that can be done.
7 days around Jericho to make sure that we'll
walk around the house, praying. No, I'm joking. But I just knew that for me, so I had to interrogate whether I thought respect was holding this information from him.
Love that point.
Or if respect was inviting him into this place in my life, which I found was so important to me. It is so important for me to have my dad know, because it just felt like, so okay, anyway, so the day came now, I had to decide to tell my dad. Guys, I can't lie, like there was fear and trembling. I was like, how am I gonna do it? But then when I had the conversation, one of the things he said was like, thank you for respecting me in this way. You know? And I was like, if I had never taken that huge jump to say, how old was I? I think I was like 25 or 20. And I was like, I'm old and I feel like I want my dad's input because I don't want my dad to input when it's too late or when it's like a month before I get married. I really want his input in the journey. It just push them into that awkward place and you need them, right?
Just open the tap.
Open the tap.
So I would say, like, what would we say to parents, like if we could help parents out in the future and even help ourselves out? So I'd say take the leap and tell your parents, especially if it's serious, tell your parents about it.
I would say let's just start having conversations about their journeys, our journeys, and having open platforms to actually engage emotions and engage deeply and not surface level on things that affect our lives, right?
And the reality is that our parents have their own stories and they have their own past, and it's a real past. But if those examples can be made more into real life, like if parents can start like to tutor literally their children from their own stories to say, listen, this is what happened to me, not hey, we're niggas, you know, like not in this accusatory manner that it actually happens, to use their stories as a tool and make that even work out for the good for everybody, you know, because then it will disarm the child because they realize that you're human as well. And it will enable you to be able to teach more honestly and authentically and tenderly as well. So I think that's really the next step of our enlightenment as black people in relationships.
So that they succeed.
Because that's what we actually want. We want a stronger community.
We want dads to be there for children. So if parents now can input into the sons and the boyfriends and the whatever and whoever it is, and you know, it's so big, it's hectic. When you say the word boyfriend,
you're like, homie, can we look at your life at 19?
What were you doing?
Sorry, where were you 19?
Who was that?
Who were you hollering at?
No, that conversation is disrespectful.
And so that's the thing.
How dare you
It's the
ask
thing
me something
that I was 20 and 19 on these streets. Don't you dare.
Oh my god.
Share honestly about you, please.
Share honestly.
I want to know. So
let us know what awkward moments you've had with your black parents around relationships. So comment on that.
Let us know, and maybe you guys are different. Maybe your family is a family that's open, that shares, that invites the guy over for dinner. And guys, like, we need that story too, because we need to know it's possible. And all other, maybe it's black, Indian, Asian, you know, maybe it's more.
Maybe you're from a white family and you actually wish your parents hadn't allowed so many people into your life, and maybe there's profit in that as well, that you would be willing to share with us. We'd love to know so that we don't completely dissent our culture. Gandhi, there's good that our parents are doing.
Yeah. Maybe there's parents who watch this. That would be interesting.
Yeah,
Who will be
comment,
like, no,
please.
there's a reason why
Yeah.
we do this. This is the reason. This is what we're safeguarding it from or whatever.
We'd love
Please
to know.
comment.
We'd love to know.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
watching this week's video.
Bye.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Never done it to my parents. As long as I answer.
You know, this is not behavior we know here, which means this one just went looking for this. Wait for that. That victim mentality stops free conversation from flowing there. Because you're immediately disarmed. When you're told you don't love your entire family, how do you continue probing?
Your actions are showing us you hate us. You hate the fact that I've taken many jobs to put my family through.
The type of schools I've taken you to, you hate
You hate me for trying to give you a good